Hi, I'm Eric Lanask. We're here in Santa Clara, California for our Editors' Days. Joining me now from Marvell is Manas Saxena. Manas, thank you for joining me. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me here.
So what I'd love to hear about is a little bit about what Marvell is doing around IoT, but what I think would be really interesting, especially for our audience, is to hear how you got to the IoT. So maybe a little bit about how that
Sure.
Your more traditional product portfolio brought you to IoT.
Yes, as you know, Marvell is a very large semiconductor player. We are a fabless player. We've been around, maybe around 20 years, and play in many different markets, from storage to multimedia to wireless networking. So what we did, several years back, maybe 6 or 7 years back, well before IoT was a big buzzword, we looked at wireless technologies and looked at sort of how the evolution would play out, and said, it's only a matter of time where wireless starts becoming useful and relevant at the price points and the power profiles in microcontroller products, which is really the bulk of the IoT market. So we started looking at that, building that out, and a few years later, lo and behold, it actually was something that then a market formed around it. And so we now have a product portfolio in IoT, and we've been addressing that by combining our wireless portfolio with microcontroller technology and other sort of things around it that we built to create a product portfolio.
What has that meant for your ability to expand your customer base?
Yeah, so that's very interesting, because what it has done in the IoT space is we are addressing a completely new customer base. These are not historically companies that have built products with significant amount of electronics or wireless or software, and so it's a completely new customer base. People who are making appliances and air conditioners and thermostats. So it's been very exciting. We have been able to sort of get into the market with a strong position, and in some sense provide technology sort of leadership in the space to our customers, and helping them as not just as a vendor, but more like a trusted technology partner.
What is it meant to have to build these technologies for, as you say, applications that have never needed them before? What's different about these?
Yeah, so the key challenge here was that we have had application processors running rich operating systems like Linux or Android and so on, and connected products have been built around those technologies for years. What has not been true is making connected products with lower-end processors like microcontrollers. So what we had to do is essentially say, to make these products cost-effective, build this around microcontroller technology product. So we did partly in silicon, but also, almost everything has to be sort of thought through fresh, whether it's security, whether it's software, whether it's networking, communications, integration with mobile, integration with cloud, all those aspects. So what we did was looked at it, say, okay, we need to build around this kind of semiconductor technology, and then what else needs to be done for it to be brought into the mass market.
Out of those things, where did you find the biggest challenges lay?
A lot of it has been around making sure that we can get production quality software built so that every customer doesn't have to redo it. So a lot of our value proposition is not just in silicon, but combining a full platform solution where our customers who are not experts in wireless or networking don't have to spend a lot of time at those layers, right? So what we do is provide them with a platform where they don't have to spend time and effort. And in many ways, we've been reasonably successful with that approach, because we have customers who've gone from concept to production in literally 4 to 6 months, which is what we've been aiming at, and then saying, okay, how do we get these products to market faster with lower cost and lower complexity?
Now, several of the product category examples that you use would fall under the consumer IoT
Correct.
moniker. What about the other side, industrial IoT, which certainly that's where the dollars lie, and many would argue that that's the more profitable way to go.
Correct. And so what we have done, certainly we have a lot of success in the consumer IoT space, largely because it leads the pack in some ways.
Sure.
But also there's more direct relationship between the semiconductor manufacturer and the OEM. We have had some success in the enterprise space, and what we found is the similar types of products make sense with a different sort of use case. So, for example, if you look at appliances as a category, you think of it primarily as a consumer IoT. But if you take washers and dryers in the context of a laundromat, that's an enterprise application of the same application, right? But now the behavior is different because now you're worried about which machines are in use, where is the money needs to be collected, so you can optimize your routes, which ones need to be serviced for diagnostics, how do you integrate into back-end billing systems. So there's a lot of things that the core connectivity piece is the same, but how it gets used is very different and changes behavior from how do I add value to an individual consumer to how do I add value to a business.
Certainly some exciting changes in terms of the, as you explained, the customer base and the product portfolio. What do you see in the next 18 to 24 months for the company?
Yeah, so it's actually very exciting because we have now created a new sort of customer base, which allows us, creates a growth opportunities for us. We are beginning to see the market mature in terms of the number of designs that are happening, as well as the volumes that are shipping, both in here, but we've also had a lot of success in China. We see a lot of major players jump into the market. Apple introduced HomeKit, Google has introduced Brillo and Weave, Amazon just launched their IoT cloud service. So we're playing into all these ecosystems, which is taking away many of the barriers for the market to mature and get to sort of mass market. So it's very exciting times. We've built a very nice customer base. We're getting design wins, on a regular basis. So it creates a nice growth opportunity for the company.
Excellent. It was great hearing about it. I wish you well. Manas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.